Good morning, everybody, from the front porch. I just wanted to give everybody like a view of how the yard's looking and the tree. This house, I'm realizing looking through photos, was in rough shape. Um, got very lucky, and I'm not complaining, but I will say, just doing some housekeeping on my computer and my phone. Oh my goodness. So that's what my concept for today is. I'm listening to my news and I want to talk about housing supply. And I think it's just the narrative that nobody's really using sound judgment when they talk about it. And I'm just talking pure supply versus demand concepts and principles in housing in United States. You heard me talk about Canada, but they're saying this, that, and the other, and expecting houses to go down in price. And we all have our own opinions on what's going on, but I don't see it as an opinion. I want to know people's numbers that they're getting their opinions from, right? And that's where I share my numbers, and I'm very clear with them, and they're out there. So let's talk about supply numbers. First of all, if we're going to have a housing dip in cost, where's the supply going to come from to help that along? Because we've already seen half of the buyers leave. Okay, so you have half of the buyers we had a year ago because of the interest rates going up, and we'll pause that conversation. But you have half of the buyers that are gone. But where is the supply coming from? Okay, you're in larger cities. You're seeing maybe prices go down, but that's the narrative that nobody's talking about. Okay, where is the supply going to come from? So let's explore that real quick. And what you're also noticing that I haven't heard anybody talk about is 1 in 4 of your buyers right now are investors. So that number a year ago used to be 1 in 10. Okay, this is my wheelhouse. We've had these numbers for a long time, 1 in 10. Now they're 1 in 4. I just saw a news article on the TV this morning about how many out-of-state buyers are coming to Colorado and Arizona, and they're small mom and pop. They're not big investors either. So that's not Zillow or Redfin or whoever you think it is doing this. It's people like me. And that's what we got to talk about, okay? So inversely, what everybody thinks is going to happen is the housing supply is going to come from people dumping their rental properties or their extra houses because they're going down in value, and we're going to have a plummet or something along those lines, right? Now, that doesn't seem like the people that I know personally that have multiple houses. That's not at all what they're going to do. The only reason most people that have multiple houses would sell them is to get the money for them and retire. And I'm seeing a lot of folks that are going to give those houses to their kids as an investment, So where is the supply going to come from on a new build side? So it's got to be new, right? If it's not existing, it's got to be new. Well, go to a new builder and ask them how many houses they're building next year. Go see what those numbers are. And I actually had somebody call me last week, wants to buy one, and they won't give her a price. They won't let her put it under contract or anything. And there's another example of where I asked somebody, are you sure you just need to sell in order to buy the next one? Which most of the time you needed to do in the world. And most of the time in America, you needed to sell your house in order to buy the next one because you needed that equity. Well, we have a huge amount of equity now, and that's going to take a big amount of problem to get. I mean, the housing market's going to have to cut in half for people to start to actually lose money on their houses now. And that's another narrative. So you don't owe as much on this asset. Why would you sell it? I mean, it's definitely not costing you as much as it did 5 years ago, compared to what everything else is, right? So why would you sell it, right? So this is where I'm going to the new build idea and they're starting to print houses. So this is the only concept I can see that'll help us out in this supply problem, because we don't have enough. Yeah, I want to say kids. I'm 40. Me and my cousin are working on our own houses like dogs, crazy, because number one, it's expensive. Number two, we can't get anybody to work on the house that's up to our quality standard. So we decided over um, completely separately to do the same thing, because it's the best use of my time and money is to paint my own house, you know, and those kind of things. And now we're starting to scale. We're starting to not be able to do that. But what I'm getting at, guys, is where is this housing supply going to come from? Because we don't train kids how to build houses. We don't have building trades. You tell me where I'm wrong, because I want to know. I want to know where I'm wrong. I actually believe we have a huge problem with housing right now, as we stand here right now, for that reason, because we can't build new ones. Okay, so if we can't build new ones, the people that have the money are going to get the new ones, and that's going to cause the prices to go up, right? Everybody has a ton of equity. So what, and now their house that they had for 20 years probably needs to be fixed, those kind of things. But maybe they don't need to sell it in order to buy the next one, is, also what I don't see anybody talking about. And it's totally that. I found somebody, she bought her house. She's clear now. Maybe she doesn't need to sell it to buy her dream home because she's downsizing. And that's another thing. A lot of people are going to smaller houses. They got a lot of equity. Don't need to sell the other one. So where's this supply coming from that's going to make this housing market bubble burst? I just don't see it. I threw about 8 different reasons at you here. But where is the housing supply going to come from? Because more people are buying now. They're called investors. That number is up. Just because they're regular home buyers who, whatever reason, want to listen to the news and back out and think it's a good time to wait and rent, well, that is another video. But I'm talking about the supply, guys. So what is going to make us have more supply in the future that you think it's going to be cheaper? Especially when the investors are now 1 in 4 instead of 1 in 10 like a year ago. Okay, so this is in depth, but I felt overwhelmingly listening to this. Nobody has a picture on this. Tell me I'm wrong, because this could cost us a lot of money if you want to wait. I didn't. I'm already in the ground here, but love you all. I like to end these on a tell me I'm wrong. Please comment and tell me where I'm missing things, because I just don't see anybody looking and reading the tea leaves when it comes to actual economics and what we're seeing, boots on the ground. I see everybody thinking they're experts, but tell me where I'm wrong. That's where I'm at. You can see I'm a little fired up. Love you all.